Okay. Let me link it in.
In Toastrum.
Yeah. Oh, I also need to change what it says. Oh, I also need to change what it says. Oh, I also need to change what it says. Oh, I also need to change actually, it's oops. Let's see. BLT podcast with management. There we go. Sure, sounds good. Okay. How do you do the? It's like /wall, right? Are you allowed to do that? Yeah.
Slash what? Oh yeah, the wall. Oh wait, you're not driver anymore in Toastrum, so you can't.
Oh, it doesn't let you.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
You can bold it, I guess,
Yeah, whatever. Fuck it.
or you can try the wall.
BLT podcast. Did I just DC from Showdown? No, I'm just lagging.
Nice.
Okay. So, okay, there's a few things I wanted to talk about. So I want to talk about like all of the teams, and then I also want to talk about the format, qualification, and then I wanted to talk about Ubers a little bit, or like Uber's not making it in, I guess.
Yeah, but to be honest, I didn't really participate in the discussion if Ubers would win it or not, because I didn't even play one single game of Ubers.
Yeah, same.
So I just heard from people that it's a bad tier, so I just assumed that would be right because it was a bad tier anyway, like
Yeah.
last year.
Honestly,
And since they still have Dynamax,
yeah. The fact that it still has Dynamax right now is pretty nuts. But honestly, like I'm a little bit sad because like, well, okay, when the original vote came around for like whether or not to include it, that was like when, um, that was when like whether or not to include it, that was like that was when like home hadn't dropped yet, and then like we didn't know that there's gonna be other Pokemon, and like the tier was literally just like
it was just like OU with like 2 or 3 months
and then like
additionally.
fucking
Like,
Dynamax. So like I don't know, it didn't seem
yeah, and I think Charizard was pretty good. Did they?
Oh, I have no idea. I did not like I watched like 2 games of it. I just saw like every game had like a fucking Quagsire because you needed it to check Zacian, and then like you have like Gothitelle all over the place, and like I don't know, it just seemed like a fucking mess to me. So, um, but like now
I
that
can barely hear you.
oh, yeah, it looks like my internet's kind of spotty.
Oh,
Oh, hey, Luffy.
what's
Hello.
up?
Oh, wait, can you hear me better now? Should be a little bit better.
Yeah, a little bit better. It was just
Wait,
cut off.
ESM, you know how I told you I was applying for that conference?
Yeah.
The one in
Well, I mean, it was
the one in
canceled, right?
Cali? Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm not even there anymore. Like, I'm not at school anymore.
Oh. Okay, next year. Don't worry.
Yeah. We're in the middle of a fucking podcast, bro.
Oh, what? Wait.
Well, we have
Yes. Oh, okay. Bye. Wait, what do you do? Hearthstone?
No, BLT.
no BLT, but we have the esteemed SPL player Luffy here.
Yeah, shut up. Wait, okay, I'm sorry. Bye. Bye.
Alright, he's fucking gone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so like I'm a little bit sad now because like honestly, with the new stuff, like I think that it'll at least be playable, and like I don't know. I don't know if it would be like that much worse than just giving up
Yeah,
like a
but
second
you.
OU slot.
I think the second voice slot is the best option, but for me it was between numbers. And I think monotype is just better because they're like monotype was more skill based than most people think.
Yeah,
Um,
like honestly,
but
like
Uber,
every
since they still have Dynamax, I don't know how good the tier is.
having Dynamax is but like after I made friends with a bunch of like monotype players, like I kind of realized it's like not as bad as I thought. Am I lagging again? I think I'm lagging again.
Been very cut off.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Um. Shit. I don't know. Okay. There we go. I don't know what the fuck my internet's doing right now, but all right. So I think like that's like most of what I wanted to say about Ubers.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the teams then, or do you want to
Yeah.
talk about
You mean
the
the
qualification?
managers?
Yeah.
We can talk about the teams first.
Okay. So I think it's we're returning, me and Trace. You and Ziri are returning. The Welsh Wall is also
Ah,
managing with TTT, who was on his team last year, so they're like kind of
yeah.
returning.
Oh, you're
Um,
lagging again.
oh fuck. I don't know what's wrong with my internet right now. I think everyone else is new, right?
Yeah, but I like us three are also the favorites, I think, going into it. But I think Raj and Armin Draco are definitely it can be a dangerous duo
I think GXC's
because I
been.
don't even know who's gonna play for them if Raj or OD is gonna play.
I think OD is better player overall, in my opinion, but I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
well, I mean, we'll see. But I think like GXC is a really good player too. Like he's been making his rounds because he won UU Masters, and I know he's been like playing a lot of OU too. And he just generally like plays a lot of Gen 8 stuff, which like
yeah,
I'm not as kept up with Gen 8 as he is for sure.
yeah, same. I legit just played random battles and
I only
some OU.
I only play fucking doubles OU now, so like.
But I mean, it's enough if like I think I can still support my team in any tier. I can still recognize what a good team is and whatnot.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like the fundamentals still carry over, but like I think GXE is definitely like probably Out of all the managers, I think he's probably the best player, right?
I don't know. I don't know how much Gen 8 Siri has been playing, but I think playing wise, Siri is probably the best playing manager.
Yeah, maybe. It's between those two. But
Yeah, like Siri won the UU Circuit, that's the UU Circuit champion, and has a trophy from last year.
yes, trophy means
Yeah, yeah. You know what it means.
uh, I don't know, like there's a lot of new faces in BLT, or like people who
I
aren't
mean,
who don't normally participate in BLT, or like have just been around the room and haven't like new managers, I guess, because there's like
yeah, a lot of them actually.
a lot of the people are new this year. So like
It is
last year,
not, no.
um, yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know if it's how they're gonna do because I'll be completely honest with you. I haven't kept up with Tours Room very much, so like I don't know like most of these people how good they are at Pokemon.
Yeah, same. But but like I know that like Alcap, KD, and Glacier are not the best players. So,
What are you
and I
talking
also
about?
know that Miko and Empering, like the Black City Balls and Snow Points Noms, like they don't have a really good playing manager. And if they do want to have a playing manager, they have to pay 12.5k, I think, which will already set their team back a lot.
Yeah. Like I think it'll be interesting because the new format that we're taking this year now has like it's going to be a lot different. So you need to play everyone at least once in the round robin, which is not too hard because it's only 12 players. But I
Yeah,
think like even if you uh, like you can have some weaker players, I guess, in the draft because if you just need your like strongest players to play um,
yeah.
by playoff time, so you only need like 8 really strong players. So, is there anything else you want to talk about for like managers? Because I think the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about today was like the new thing, like the new format, new qualification cycle.
Yeah, I think that's the main reason, the main point to talk about. That's the newest thing.
Um,
That was your idea to came up with it, right?
oh wait, sorry, repeat that. Fuck, my internet's fucking shitting out again.
Yeah, your internet's lagging a lot.
Wait, okay, hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Um, yeah. So I think the big thing is the new format for. So okay, we're going back to round robin. So round robin means that every team will play each other once before playoffs, which means 7 weeks. A lot of BLT players have been asking for it for a long time because BLT has been like last few years has been really short. Um, like
It has only been done once, right? BLT free.
I think so, yeah. Um, I think that the main well, I wasn't involved in like managing BLT at that time because I was like still like a regular, but like back then, there's like the reason we moved away from that is because there was like concerns about like motivation and stuff. But like a lot of people have been asking, or like I don't know about a lot of people, but like I know at least that like some of the more competitive players have been asking for a longer BLT because like
Mm.
it feels like a better format and just like fairness wise and whatnot. So like
Yeah,
I mean
yeah. I remember. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, where we had a really strong group and you had a rather weak group. And this actually wasn't really fair at all.
Yeah, like I remember we had a group where it was like we were better than everyone in the group, like that was the year we won BLT.
Yeah,
So 2 years ago.
yeah,
And so like
yeah.
we just like won our first 2 weeks like super easily. We were locked for playoffs. We like trolled the third week. Didn't even matter. Yeah, so like I think this is like a better overall format. Shit, my internet's probably
Yeah, for sure.
But it's also going to be in conjunction with like the new qualification format, which I am very happy that they decided to implement this.
Same.
Yeah, so this is something that I've personally been looking forward to a lot because one of the big things about BLT, in my opinion, is that it does feel like um, the qualification period is a lot more of a chore now, and it's like a big barrier for entry for a lot of people. So if you want other people, like your friends or whatever, to join BLT, like it's like not really possible because they have to spend so much time trying to qualify. So the new format, and I'm probably lagging again, so whatever. But the new format is basically that you have like five okay, you have the 4 cycles still, but instead of it being like top 16 qualifies for 4 cycles, we're now doing that top 8 automatically qualifies, and then the rest will be taken from a pool that have at least 50 points. So that might not make a ton of sense, but basically the idea behind it is that if you get at least 50 points here, then you'll be put into a pool that can be drafted like for like a normal auction tour, like whatever, SPL or whatever, where you can like not everyone in the who gets at least 50 points is guaranteed, but everyone who gets top 8 is guaranteed. But basically, like the idea behind it is that we can allow BLT to be like more accessible for more people, which I think is like the biggest bonus.
It also opens up the possibility of holding tryouts for teams.
Yeah, for sure. I think like BLT or like I guess qualifying for BLT won't just be about the the grind or whatever. Like some people, you if you like really want to get in, you can grind to get that top 8 spot. But it's also about like being good enough to for like if you don't get that top 8 spot, which will probably be like 120, 130, 150 points or whatever, then you can probably just like you want to try out for teams that so they want you to. So like it's like completely not or it's not just about grinding for points or whatever. It's also about like being good enough to get in if you're not like whatever getting like 250 points or whatever.
I didn't understand a single thing that right now. You lagged so hard.
Okay. Yeah, but I am lagging very hard. I also want to thank Ark a lot because he helped me, or I was the one who proposed this format, or at least part of this format, and Ark was like the one who helped kind of. He was the one who suggested like the top 8 part being kind of guaranteed. So at least if you want to, you can still work hard and grind for points to get in. But it also opens up that like I think one of the issues that people were complaining about before was like the sub system
Mm.
because like okay, I mean like I'm someone who abused it because like we got Mysterious M as a
Yeah.
sub, and that's just like and we just used him.
That's like a 15K player for free, and you just use him.
Yeah, exactly. And then he just plays in the like tiebreaker round or whatever.
Yeah,
So people were complaining like, "Oh, that's not fair." I mean, like whatever, we were abusing the system, but like I can see why that or, like that's definitely not fair. Have like
yeah, I never liked the subsystem.
But like the big issue is like you can't just have no subs because obviously nobody like there's gonna be people who like can't play the entire tour. So you need to have like some sort of subsystem in place, and this kind of is like a better solution, or this presents like a better solution because now you can just draft other players that are guaranteed to, or like other subs from within the pool. So like you don't have to play or like have this like ratchet subsystem with like snake draft at the end of the draft and then get like some
Yeah,
teams just get super lucky and just have like fucking mysterious M playing for them.
yeah, and like half of the teams don't even have a second sub because they never show up.
Yeah, exactly. So now we have 12 players on your team, but everyone has to play at least once. That's like not like a huge deal. I think like it gives the players who kind of get like drafted at the end a little bit of a chance to prove themselves. So they don't just feel like
Yeah,
oh they got drafted and they're left out or whatever. But it also um, doesn't like make it so your like team is like bent around like
yeah,
the
I think that's a really good system. I think because it gives a really good chance to prove this. Because if you win your chance to, then it's most likely that you will play the next week as well.
yeah. And I mean, like, it's not just about winning always, because like sometimes you can play well without winning. So it's more about like getting the chance to prove yourself. So I think it's just like overall good for people to get that chance. Um, yeah, so I think the big thing is that we're now moving to 50 points as our requirement instead of like whatever. I think last BLT was like 90 something points for 16th place or something, right?
Yeah, it's really ridiculous.
Yeah, so I think it'll be a lot better for okay, it's definitely better in terms of like from my perspective personally, just because I don't have to spend as much time, but like it's like the biggest thing for me is that I think it will let some people who are kind of on the edge of qualifying for BLT because I know there are a lot of people who are either before this were either not going to qualify or were like considering not qualifying, and hopefully they can convince them to come back to play some more
Mm,
BLT.
yeah, because we definitely need an upgrade on better players. Last year was pretty, I don't know what to say, sad.
Sad.
But, yeah, like 90% of the games were pretty.
I mean,
It's not fun to watch.
speaking from at least the Ubers pool last year, like literally nobody was actually playing Ubers.
Yeah.
So definitely like I think it'll be interesting to see. I think what we're going to be doing, I'm not sure if it's 100% decided yet, but I think we're doing a podcast every 2 weeks after the cycle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be going over which players have qualified and just talking about them and whatever else has happened in the last 2 weeks, probably. And then we'll probably do it weekly after BLT starts, or at least I'll
Mm,
be doing it weekly. I don't know if MJ will have the time,
yeah.
but we'll see.
I mean, it depends on
Depends.
the.
Depends.
Yeah, it depends. But I will most likely have time.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's 2 months from now, so maybe it'll be different, but
I don't know.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
But I think that's about it, unless there's something else you want to talk about.
Not really.
Oh, right. Also, big shout out to Blazenix because he made this really sick logo for MJ. It's not
Yeah. I do this artwork.
year, but yeah, it's been doing well. I don't know where Raj got his, but that one's also pretty good. But I think that's like about it for us. If you enjoyed, then I don't know. I would say leave a like, but that's only if you're watching this on YouTube. Um, Otherwise, I guess we'll see you in like 2 weeks or whatever. Actually, 3 weeks. Yeah, I'm probably lagging again.
I didn't understand. Nothing.
All right. Uh, okay, I think that's like everything I want to talk about. Good internet.
Yep.
Okay. Whenever my internet gets back.
So hard. So hard to understand.
Fuck.
Maybe you shouldn't be streaming
Okay.
too much for your internet.
No. Normally it's fine. It's just like right now, it's been
Yeah.
having an issue. Okay. I think that's everything I want to talk about. So I'll end the stream. We'll be back in 3 weeks to talk about after the first cycle. All right.